And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is back in session. Here for another guest speaker episode at AOA Studios. If you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, make sure to reach out to us at aoastudios.org to book your session or service today. And I'm joined today by an incredibly special guest. He's a producer, he's an artist, he has a brand new album coming out really soon called Good Girls Are Overrated. Actually, probably out by the time that this podcast is actually out. So it's probably out now. So scratched all that. It is linked in the description below. Wherever you get your music, make sure you stream it. After the episode, of course, we've got plenty with him. This is JORD4NEVERDIED.
Yes, sir. Glad to be back.
Yeah, technically back.
Yeah, technically back.
Technically back. First time Jordan came on the show was during the pandemic. Zoom call, which again, like we said, we barely count that.
Facts.
So this is like the first, feels like the first
official
real one.
Happy to be here.
Yep, in studio. We can actually see you clearly. You're on nice cameras. You know what I mean? We don't have to worry about the internet going out, bad lighting, whatever that, all the thing. I mean, I feel like I remember one time during that you, I think your mom maybe walked in or something like that, and you're like, oh, I think we cut it out of it, but you're like, oh, hold on, I got to talk to my mom real quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Shout out the pandemic.
I know, long gone are the days of the pandemic. So anyway, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we've worked together a couple times recently. We had Mindflex Never Died last year.
Yep.
And then you're also on Masterclass. You got a song coming out
Yes,
probably be sometime top of 2025 because I'm like waterfalling all the songs like every like 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 weeks, excuse me. So doing it that.
All the other singles been fire so far.
Thank you.
Shout out to everyone else, especially the one with what was it, Lucas and Jita?
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm saying that right.
Yes, you are. Jita,
Yeah.
yep. And then Jared Vasquez and Lib. Yeah, that one, that's a beautiful song.
Facts.
It's a beautiful song. I mean, they all have great songs in their own right, but like they're all great in their own right. But that one, yeah, definitely is like very intimate.
Actually, so funny. I just met Lucas for the first time last night. Randomly, I decided to get a drink after work, and he was at the bar. And I was like, "Are you Lucas?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "This is crazy." Because we have a song together, but we've never met. Like, just virtually, like, I sent him some stems to, like, make a beat behind.
Yeah.
And I had never seen him in person. And
yeah.
I was, like, kind of, like, not nervous, but, like, I was like, damn, like, if this isn't him, I'm going to be pretty pissed. Because I would just go to this random man and be like, "Hey, Lucas." But shout out to you, Lucas.
Nah, Lucas is the man. We love Lucas around here. So big shout out to Lucas and the whole JMC team. I can't wait for your song to drop with Caesar and OK Kirby. It's gonna be a good one.
Facts.
That one came together really nice. I can't wait for people to hear it. So, but anyway, so we're gonna start with the objective, where we get to know a little bit about you and your background, which is like typically how we start these podcasts. However, I kind of feel like we already did that the first time with
Facts.
you. We kind of went through all that. So I kind of have like a different type of question for the objective for today.
Okay.
And I feel like since the last time we did the podcast, you were definitely more in your producer bag at that time. Yeah. And I feel like you had just dropped that first project of yours, that like quick little EP, Blur. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you were kind of transitioning to artistry at that time. You were in like kind of a weird, I don't say weird place. That's not what I mean.
I was kind of like in a weird little limbo of like people knowing me as like a producer, specifically vintages producer, to like coming into being an artist of my own.
Yeah, so like I want to talk about that today because I feel like that's a good place to start. Anyone that wants to hear like more about Jordan's background, you can go find the first episode that we did with him. But for you, I'm really curious about the last time you were on, kind of in that transitional period of, and again, it's a great thing to be labeled as Vintage Lee's producer. I don't want to get that twisted. Like that's a great label, but it's nice for you to be able to like carve your own path, so to speak, as well, and as an artist. So what has that transition been like for you, or that sort of evolution, I guess is a better word, maybe not transition, but that evolution from being just somebody that did mostly production to now really like being a full-fledged artist and starting to make some like really big headwaves in the scene?
Appreciate you. Well, at first it was definitely, I don't want to say difficult, but definitely kind of weird at first because there'd be like people reaching out to me like wanting to work, and in my head they want to work with JORD4NEVERDIED the artist, but when I get to the session they're like, oh, like you got some beats. I'm like, bro, I don't even really make beats anymore. Like, so honestly, like I'm still a producer at heart for sure, but I really don't make beats like that anymore. Only time I make beats is if like there's an artist that like I really, really fuck with their music, and I get in the session with them, like I can make a beat for you right now. Like if I'm making beats, it's like 9 times out of 10 in person. Besides Vintage, like I'm obviously still her producer, but that was like a little difficult for me to maneuver through because people were still kind of getting to know me as an artist, but still wanted to work with me. But it was hard to tell if they like if my producer hat on this session or my artist hat. So like the first like I would say like probably like 6 months of like after dropping Blur, it was like a little confusing. But now, thankfully, like there's like most people that are hip to me as a creative entity, I guess I would call myself, like know me, like they don't even know I'm a producer. And I'm like, I kind of would prefer it that way because I like, like people like J. Cole, like a lot of people still don't know like he makes beats. But he's like a really good producer, but people don't really know how many hits he's produced. Like that's the kind of approach like I want to have versus like a Pierre Bourne where he was like he blew up as a producer first and like was known as like one of the best producers, and then like slowly gradually with I think T-Lot 4 is when people started to catch on to him. But I would rather people know me as an artist first.
Yeah, because I find that I find that whole dynamic fascinating, right? Because you're right. There are certain artists that did start off as producers that people don't remember them as producers. But then there's the flip side of that, like producers trying to become more full-fledged artists. Like, do you find one to be easier than the other? Like one way to do it? Because like in my opinion, it would seem like it would be much more difficult as a producer to become more legitimized as an artist once you've been established as a producer. So like, was that always in your head when you decided like earlier on, like, all right, I'm definitely going to just like try to pursue the artistry rather than and pull back a little bit on the production? Cause I feel like sometimes if an artist makes beats, I feel like it's a little bit more like not normalized, but a little bit more receptive rather than the other way around. Like, I don't know if, and again, I could be, I'm maybe putting all that in a box, but just kind of curious.
No,
like,
I think you're absolutely right. Cause at first, so like always when I first started making music, like Vintage would like pick me up from college and like bring me to like, I started off just engineering her type shit. And I was like taking notes from, cause I really wanted to like, I hate engineering. Like I hate it. Like I engineer myself to record all my songs. And I even hate doing that. So like my hatred for engineering made me want to learn how to make beats because I loved being around music and making music, but I just didn't know how to fit into it. Because at the time I didn't have the voice like at all. Like my voice was trash. So I was like studying like all the producers that were sending Vintage beats from the sessions I was engineering, like kind of like learning like pockets and sounds, how to how to make it my own type of thing. And so, yeah, I just kind of taught myself how to make beats because deep down, I always wanted to be an artist, but my voice was like god awful, like terrible. I had to like work on it. And I was definitely afraid to come out as an artist until one day, I don't even know if Charlia remembers this, but like one day jokingly, like I sent her a Snapchat of a song I just freestyled. And I was like, I'm the best songwriter ever. Like, just like literally like as a joke. And then she was like, you should like put that out like as yourself, like not like songwriter for someone. And that day I literally like made Blur in like a 2-day span. And
I feel like I remember talking about this a little bit.
Yeah. And since that day, I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't really care what people think. Like, I know that I'm good at writing songs. And after Blur, I didn't drop for like 2 years, and in those 2 years, my voice got like like way better because I was like, I wasn't taking any vocal lessons or anything, but like I was like looking at like vocal coaches on YouTube's and I just getting my reps in every single day until I taught myself how to like actually sing versus relying on auto tune. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, and you use plenty of it still. I feel like, but no, but again, I've also heard you obviously sing live a couple times, and while you still do use some of that, it's apparent that you have ability. Like it's not to say that like you need to rely on that, which I hear you. Like what part of that process was the hardest in terms of like you sort of dialing in and trying to actually learn how to be a better vocalist? Like, was there ever a moment or a part of that process that was like the hardest for you?
Yeah, I think definitely just like not. It's kind of, I had to approach it like I used to play basketball, obviously, so I had to kind of approach it like that. Like if you want to get better at shooting, you have to wake up every day and put in those 1,000 or 500 shots, whatever it is. So like I had to take it as like I'm not gonna be the best version of my singing self every single day, but if I don't sing every day, I'm not gonna get results. And so I had to like work through like not being discouraged when I'm sounding like trash, because at the end of the day, I went from no musical training at all, teaching myself how to sing. So like I was like singing in ways that was like literally hurting my voice, and I would lose my voice and get discouraged and be like, oh, I suck. But in reality, I just didn't know what I was doing, and I was like learning on the fly. So I would say definitely like having no musical background, not really knowing how to sing, and just like going through phases of like destroying my voice trying to get better. Like that was the hardest part, is like the mental part of it, is just keep going like no matter how I sound.
Well, I really like that analogy. I think it makes total sense. And I think because I feel like in music, this is becoming more of a normalcy where people are, I mean, you walked in and you said it jokingly, and but also like I appreciated you saying it, was like that I wear a lot of hats too. And I feel like in the creative space, it's almost necessary in these days to wear as many hats as you possibly can and sort of try to round out that skill set that you have, right? Because I feel like a lot of times, and it's not a bad thing if you do, but some people box themselves in as engineers, some people box themselves in as artists or producers or whatever it is, or managers or whatever the heck it is. And I feel like there's so much else you're missing. There's so many pieces of that pie that you're not tapping into.
Facts.
If you're not sort of expanding, and it's great for you that you were actually able to, even though you were discouraged and you didn't think you were sounding great, like that's awesome that you stuck with it. Yeah. And it's clearly because you enjoy it and you love it, and you feel like you did have a skill in it, and now it's paying off because the music sounds fantastic.
Thank you, bro.
It's really great, which I want to obviously transition into that, which is we call this the main lesson, where we get to talk a little bit about what you got going on right now in this moment. And of course, we have Good Girls Are Overrated.
Yes, sir.
Which is quite the title. Love the title. Artwork is great. And one of the things that I want to ask you first about this project in particular is working with different producers. Coming from somebody that used to make beats, or made beats a lot more often and produced a lot more, like what do you then look for? I guess it's a two-part question, but like what do you then look for in the producers that you're working with? And is there ever a moment for you where you're feeling in a session maybe like, oh, I could totally get what I need out of this. Yeah. Not better, but like you see your vision more than the way you want it. And then like, are there moments, obviously, I'm sure there are, but like talk to me about the moments too where you're just like allowing the producer that you're working with to kind of maybe build the world for you. Like talk to me about that dichotomy of like, trying to almost, I feel like in a lot of ways, maybe trying to train yourself to like not be so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just so nitpicky about every little thing, and have that like controlling aspect of it, right? Because you used to do it. So I feel like that's got to be part of it. So talk to me a little about that process of like allowing other producers into your creative process, and like how that's been. Obviously working with people like Sam Sully and STEFAN THEV, amongst others.
Yeah, for sure. So honestly, like I don't really care. Like obviously there's like industry producers that I would like love to work with, but like I don't really care about like your name or like who you work with. Like I work better with people that like, I talk to my friends about this all the time. Like everybody I work with right now, like I would still be friends with even if like the internet shut down and we can never make music again. So like that's the first step for me really creatively, is that like I have to be around people where it's like, if we don't get anything done in this session, I still had a good time because of the people I'm around. So like for me, that's really the first step, is really just like being comfortable or like liking you as a person, or like, or know that you're like not a shitty person, because like in this creative industry, not even just music but anything creative, like there's like a bunch of like opportunists and like not really people that have their morals straight. And honestly, like ever since I started working with Sam Sully, I want to say like 2020, maybe early 2021, like he like I used to like have such an ego, like I'm the best producer in Boston, like the best producer in the world. But then he sent me this one beat. I was like, yeah. I was like, let's lock in, bro. Like, so ever since then, like I'm really an in-person type of, like, obviously if you send me beats and I like the beat, I'm gonna record on it. But like if I'm with you and I get the vibe from like start to finish, like I'm more of a, all right, like you just start playing with the keys and like build off of the humming that I'm doing, and we kind of like build the beats together. Like that's the way I prefer to work, is from scratch. And because it just, I don't know, it's just something about like when you get a beat sent to you, it's like kind of like a vibe that producers like already expecting you to like be on, versus like you guys being in the room like we are right now, like building the vibe together from scratch. And I feel like music, what makes music fun for me, making music fun for me, is like the experience more than the end result of having a completed song. Because like I have like thousands of completed songs and probably like 10 times that of like half songs, and I probably had like way more fun making the half songs than some of the completed ones, just off the fact that like me and Sam, or me and NK, or me and Stefan were in the studio just cooking it up, the idea from scratch. Because like that's what makes, I feel like music is an experience like meant to be shared, which is why like fans connect, like the super fans, that's why they connect with artists so much, like their favorite artists so much, is because like there's something in the music that they relate to in the core of things. And I feel like I get that out of like working with my friends with songs from scratch.
I really like that mentality, because so you're somebody that definitely would, obviously sounds like, much prefer to work, like come with something from scratch than like, you're not somebody that's like looking for beats necessarily, or yeah.
So like I have like my own studio set up at my house. I do record every day, and I do like ask for beats a lot, but like that's just because like my schedule is insane. So like it's either I record on beats that are being sent to me, or I wait like a month to link with the producers I want to link with.
Sure.
So like
That makes
when
sense.
I have to, obviously I'll do that. But like my ideal setting would be to me and you sit down, pick each other's brains, and make something from scratch. Like all my best songs always come from that.
Yeah, well, I feel like that makes sense, though, right? I feel like that organic sort of, it's almost like you're taking, like that producer could have been in a totally different headspace when they made the beat than when you feel like, how you feel when you hear it, which is honestly a cool thing in some regard, because I think that leaves a lot of that open interpretation. But there is something I think beautiful, like you're saying, about like we sitting in a room, we have nothing right now. And by the end of today, like we might, even if it's just a demo or some like loose idea, like we created something, and then you have that connection with that person.
Facts.
It's the same way of what I've always said about like I would much rather prefer to find new artists in person at shows, festivals, things like that, because I always feel like when I've seen artists that I was not familiar with and I see them live, I become a much bigger fan of their live performance and their than just listening to their music on like Spotify or something like that, or if I hear it on a TikTok, right? Which again is a great way to find artists, but I feel like that personal connection, that human connection, is like something that we're losing a little bit with this like internet age, and it's
crazy.
And it's a little,
what's that for? Instant gratification. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. 100%.
Craziness.
Yeah. And I think that there's like a lot, not lost, but I feel like there's a part of that we've lost just a little bit. And
For sure.
Like I said, I mean, I used to, like, long gone are the days where like I love to going to Boston Calling every year, because I used to like go to that festival and I would like want to go for like the big headliners. Like there was the one year it had like Eminem and Jack White and Tyler the Creator, and like it was a nutty weekend. But I was like, oh, there's probably 80% of these names I've never heard of, and I want to go because I want to like find some new bands or some new artists that I'm like not familiar with. Like there was a band called Manchester Orchestra. I'd never heard of them before, and they were like a really cool like heavier rock band. and I had no idea who they were, and I probably would have never like stumbled across their music had I not
Ever,
like
if you
gone
weren't.
to see. Yeah, it just like seeing it in person just felt it was such a different experience than it was like hearing it over, like I said, Spotify or a TikTok or whatever the heck it could have
Yeah,
been.
that's the
So
beautiful part about like going back to the in person versus beats thing. Like that's the beautiful part. It's like the same similar type of thing. It's where like the beat is like already there versus like you go to a session, make something from scratch. And it's like, damn, like we literally looked at a blank DAW on the computer and just literally made something out of nothing. Like I didn't come in today knowing that this was gonna get done. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, it feels like it's more of a circumstantial piece of it, which makes it feel maybe a little bit more special than
Facts.
if like, because again, like the way that we did masterclass was like I think it was cool. I'm really thankful and just happy with how it turned out, but and I tried to keep it as authentic as possible with like the beats being blind and stuff like that. But like there is that same aspect of like, of what we're not talking about. Where it's just like, using the power of the internet in a way to like bring people together was a cool thing. But I agree. Like I would, in a perfect world, the next time like I do something like that, like I would love to just have a bunch of producers and artists. I've said this before to so many people that, just love to do like an invite only producers and
camp.
artists, like camp here and just, let's see what gets created out of it. If 4 songs get created, cool. If 10 get created, like awesome. I feel like that would be like even like a cooler experience than just like the the online.
But you got to work with at the time. That's all we could do. So
that's all we had, right? Exactly, right. And I would, situations have changed, so it's like what I mean. Like, your resources have changed, which is cool. Good girls are overrated.
facts.
It's such a bold statement. I mean, what inspired the name of? I hate asking these types of questions, but I feel like I have to ask this one. What the hell inspired the name of Good Girls Are Overrated?
Well, I don't know. Like, I wanted to name it something that like catches your attention right away, that also relates to what I'm talking about, obviously. And I feel like my name and my artist name in general, like JORD4NEVERDIED in all caps with the 4, like it sticks out. So like every project I do, I try to have a name that like kind of grabs your attention like right away, but also it just fits the theme of the project, because the project essentially is about, and first of all, I'm not sexist. This goes for men too. Like, good dudes are overrated too. Men ain't shit for sure. But so it's deeper than just good girls being overrated. It's like it has a kind of like a double meaning behind the project. It's like this person is so you're so like immersed with this person that you lose sight of yourself. So it's like, even though this person is like so amazing in your eyes, they're not really good for you because you're not focusing on your goals again every day. You're being complacent. You're not really doing what you in your heart want to be doing. You're just so lost in like chasing and trying to impress and being with this person that you lose your sense of self. And the other meaning behind it is that you think this person is like so good and so amazing. You put them on this pedestal, and then you find out when it's too late that they weren't actually like that good. It was just that vision that you were painting in your head of that person. And I feel like that's something that everybody can relate to.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Been there, done that. 100%, no question.
Facts.
Happy to be in the situation that I'm in at this moment. So, but there were definitely days where I could relate to that. No question about it. But I actually think what you said, because I think on the surface, I think like you said, I think it's going to totally catch attention and maybe even have people looking at it weird. Like, what does he mean by that? Because it could come off as, like you're saying, as a sexist thing. When you explain it, though, in that way, and again, it can go either way. It could definitely go for men. It's just in the same vein if you want to just switch the gender, because you could totally look at it from that perspective too. But I like what you're saying about, I think with anything, like especially in relationships, balance is the key, is the most important piece. Balance and communication.
Facts.
Right? Like understanding that, like, all right, this is what I do and you need to be okay with that. Like, and not to like put my business out there, but like, with my fiance, like that's why I know that like our relationship is working, because like early on, like right away, because I realized this like when I was in my dating around phase, where I'm like, why am I in this like perpetual sort of circle? I don't
Facts.
feel like I'm really like making progress with anybody or anything. And I think part of it was to look at myself in the mirror and be like, maybe I'm not being super honest about like my own intentions. And like when I was finally honest with her about like, listen, like this is kind of what my goals are. This is what I'm trying to do. And you know, okay, what are your goals? All right, this is exactly what you're trying to do. Can we complement each other's lives? Because I think that's a piece of it too, that even any relationship can be toxic in the sense of like, if we're not, we can be compatible all day long, but if I'm holding you back from what you're doing and you're holding me back from what I'm trying to do, like there needs to be some type of separation there. Not to say you need to lead separate lives, but like, you know, you don't need to do everything together.
Facts.
You know, I think that's like what keeps a relationship fresh. It's just like, you know, when you're with somebody all day, 24/7, doing everything with them. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not a bad thing, but like, I don't know. For me, like, it's nice that I have somebody that like, you know, I say, hey, I gotta head down to the studio. I got this to do. I gotta do this or that. She's just like, okay, go do your thing, have fun. I'll see you at some point. And like, same with her. Like, she does the same thing to me. Oh, hey, you know. And then we still make sure we carve out like proper time for each other. So I don't know. It's not perfect. Obviously, we're still, I think, working on it ourselves. It's always a work in progress, but I think that balance is key to, you know, give the relationship what it needs, like feed it the energy that is required. But you also at the same time need to feed yourself.
Exactly.
And, you know, and that obviously gets harder once you know, kids get into the equation, all that sort of stuff. Like, so let's not like overcomplicate it too soon. You know what I mean? Like,
take it day by day.
Let's take it day by day. So I don't know. I feel like I can relate to a lot of what you're saying, because like that was always super important to me in a partner, somebody that like understands that like, you know,
that this is what you want to do.
This is it. Yeah. And like, you know, I don't mean to say this in this way, but like, are you willing to come along for the ride type deal?
No, for a fact.
You know?
And that's something these past like 2.5 years specifically that I had to come to realize. Like you said, like when you're in your dating around phase, like you do like a lot of self-reflecting. And just from my past relationship, it also made me reflect on that. And how you said about like the people being toxic, because like you can be two people that aren't toxic, but your relationship can be toxic if you're not clear on like either your boundaries or like your goals in life. And I feel like you said, communication and balance and loyalty, honestly, are
100%,
definitely the biggest parts of a relationship. And I really had to learn the balance. And I mean, I've always been pretty good at communication, but obviously like, everyone has their days. But balance is definitely something that I had to learn. And that's why I put that meaning for the first meaning of Good Girls Are Overrated is like being so immersed in a person, because I've definitely like experienced both ends of that, me being the one that's too immersed or my partner being the one that's too immersed. And I had to really grow and mature over these last 2 years and learn that a healthy relationship, like just because you don't like text every second of the day or like see each other every single day doesn't mean that like y'all love each other any less. Just a mature relationship.
It makes those moments more meaningful. And
exactly.
Because like, I don't know, for me, like when I, you know, after a long day at work or like being here, whatever it is, right? Like there's so many times where I'm like, all right, like I almost need to separate myself from it. Goes the same way with, you know, the creative stuff that we do and like the work that, you know, that we do. It's like, there's days I need to separate from that. And there are days where I'm like, no, you know what? Today, like, I just want to like hang out with Carissa and just like be on the couch, or like us go and watch something, or like us go on a date, or like, you know what I mean? Like those are like, you need like to escape even this life. It's important. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why it's important to have that both like thing where it's just like, okay, I know I can do my thing here, but like this will be here when it's appropriate and when it's needed. And then we can actually enjoy that, you know, more. And honestly, and that's the thing. Like, I think that, like you said, the communication piece is important too. Cause like, you know, we try to be good about that, as like, if either of us feels like, hey, you know, we haven't had a date night in a while. Okay. Then let's make sure that like we get something, we set aside time so that way we can spend it together, to not, you know, for us, either one of us to not feel that way.
Facts.
Cause you know, it can go both. You can have toxic relationship with your job or with your creative endeavor. You know what I mean? It's just like anything. It kind of goes without saying that like balance and those boundaries are super important.
Facts.
like in any facet, whatever relationship, whether it just be with something inanimate or philosophical or whatever, or if it's with a human being, like, you know, because that's what makes us human beings. Like, I don't know. I always find that fascinating with people that, you know, their whole personality is one thing, or their whole personality is like their partner, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, all right, who are you really?
Facts.
You know, and not to say anything's going to be perfect, because it's not, but
No, never.
But
Everything is a work in progress.
absolutely. Project's great, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Not to get like into the nitty gritty of the music, like I'm super excited for this, for people to hear this project. I've had it for a little bit. Thank you.
Of course, bro.
But, you know, my personal favorite song that I heard before the whole thing came out was Tactic. That song is absolutely a fucking banger. Love
Shout
that
out
song.
Sam and NK.
Love that song. Do you have any like interesting or you know, cool stories that were related to like any of the songs that were made here? Any sort of songs that hold like they all I'm sure hold a special place in your heart, but any of these songs that really feel like they reflect a really cool idea or moment or something in your life that may be a little bit more important that most people maybe wouldn't know just from like listening to it from a surface level standpoint?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of songs that mean a lot to me. I would say Poison, Forsaken, and Tactic definitely probably mean the most to me on the album. Forsaken is just a funny one because I'm sure you guys all know STEFAN THEV. Like, he's one of my good friends.
I think I've heard the name once or twice.
Once or twice.
He sounds familiar.
Yeah,
just kidding.
Just some
Shout out to you,
guy
Stefan,
from Brockton. Shout out Stefan. He's a goat. Oh, he just dropped a project too.
Yes,
Very
he
fire.
did.
No
Very
skips. But yeah, it's funny because like he like makes beats here and there, and he doesn't even live in Boston anymore. He lives in LA. So when he came back to Boston, like a couple months ago, just to visit, we were just at my house chilling. We made like a little demo real quick, like just on some, like not really trying to get anything done, just like we haven't seen each other in a minute, and like we just wanted to just make some shit real quick. And then literally like 10 minutes before he had to dip, he's like, yo, like I made this beat that I could hear you on. And he played me the Forsaken beat. I was like, bro, like you've been at my house for 4 hours and you play this shit right now when you're about to leave. And then I made that shit like in 10 minutes, like right before he left. And I sat on that song for a minute, and I was like, sometimes like, cause a lot of my songs, I don't really like write, not saying that like I freestyle everything, but I'm a person where like, I just go to the mic and like I freestyle or mumble and literally until I get the words and the ideas out. Like that's how I work. So like sometimes when I'm like writing songs, I'm speaking raw from the heart, and like once I go back and listen to this completed songs, I'm like, holy shit, like this is literally what's going on in my life. I'm like, feel like I'm like listening. This probably sounds so narcissistic, but like I feel like I'm like listening to my favorite artist, like speaking to my life. But like obviously I wrote it, but in the time I'm like, I'm not conscious. There's very rarely do I consciously have an idea for a song. It just comes to me because like if you play me a beat right now and I like the beat, I literally just step up to the mic, no ideas at all, and just hum, make words, random sounds that come out of my head, and I make that into a full song somehow, some way. Thank God. It's not me, it's God, like literally, because that's how it happens. But that song means a lot to me because my relationship from 2 years ago, that song is about that one, and that was like I was venting a lot on that song. So like when you guys hear that song, it's coming from a hurt place. So yeah.
Diary entries from Jordan's head. That's
Facts.
exactly what a lot of
That's
these
probably
are.
my most intimate song on that one. And then Poison, that song means a lot to me. Produced by my boy Verde, who I just locked in with in LA, and my boy Zoom. It means a lot to me because Zoom, he's the first producer that ever believed in me. Like I used to make music under a different name that I'm not going to say because I've been trying to get that music deleted off of SoundCloud for like 5 years, but they won't let me. But I used to go by this alias, and I dropped probably like 3 albums under that alias, but it was literally like all freestyles, all jokes. Like I never took it serious, but like all my friends were like, bro, like you're actually nice at making music. Like, why don't you like actually take being an artist serious? And Zoom, he would just send me packs and packs and packs. He'd be like, yo, like I believe in you, like you're fire, like blah blah blah. And there's this one day, it was April 2019. I literally like sent Zoom this like message. It was either on the phone or a text, but I was like, hey, like I appreciate you so much for believing me, but like I'm like done being an artist. And he was like, here's another pack. Like he was like, bro, like you're not quitting.
Funny.
So like that song means a lot to me, because before that song we really hadn't like locked in like that in like probably like a year or so. Like that's still like, he's my brother for life, like love him to death, but that was the first song we made in a while, and the song is like amazing. Not to toot my own horn, but like that meant a lot to me, because like literally the first producer to ever believe in me, he's like back on my project. So like that song just meant a lot to me just off the strength of that. Shout out Zoom, he's my guy.
Dope. Love those stories. It's awesome. And it's great to have those people like that in your corner. You have to have them. We all have had them at once.
That's what I'm saying. I only work with my brothers. Like if I can't vibe with you like as a human being, like I just can't make music with you.
I totally understand where you're at. Last question on this topic. What's the one song that you think would be a great introduction to this project? If anyone that's listening to this podcast right now has never heard of your music or just hasn't heard the project in general, like what would be like the initial song you'd want people to hear that would be a good introduction to the project?
Honestly, either Is There Trust, which is actually the intro, and it's already out right now. It's a single.
Okay.
Because I feel like Is There Trust kind of sets the tone for the whole album, because it talks about those both meanings of good girls being overrated, about like finding that balance, and also like finding out that like that person isn't really the person you thought they were. So shout out to Sam Sully, he produced that. He's like my main producer, like one of my best friends. Amazing producer. But yeah, I would definitely say listen to Is There Trust, because that song is a great song, and it definitely touches upon all those things that we were talking about good girls being overrated.
Dope. Do you mind if I play a clip of it for the people, for them to get like a little sneak peek?
For sure.
All right. Well, this is JORD4NEVERDIED's single "Is There Trust" off of his brand new album "Good Girls Are Overrated." We're gonna take a quick break, and we will be right back.
You like to dance and in public like nobody owns you. You got a man, but you stay doing what you want to. That's my bad. God, for goodness sake, please pick up this phone before it's too late. The things that I don't know, it made me go crazy. I wanna trust you, but you might betray me. Swear that it's not bad. Hope it's not too late. I'll give you all my trust if you just behave. Hey, I just wanna know, can we get a private dinner, seafood with the roll? Oh, I just wanna link up somewhere warm. California, Houston, Texas, can we hit the road? Oh, you'll find love always. And I'm hoping, yeah, I'm hoping it's the right time, and you're all mine. Here we are again, talk about the feelings and securities will end. You like to dance out in public like nobody owns you. You got a man, but you stay doing what you want to. That's my bad. God, for goodness sake, please pick up this phone before it's too late. The things that I don't know, it made me go crazy. I wanna trust you, but you might betray me. Swear that it's my bad. Hope it's not too late. I'll give you all my trust if you just behave. Hey, offer us all my trust in you.
And that was "Is There Trust" off of JORD4NEVERDIED's brand new album, "Good Girls Are Overrated." It's linked now in the description below, so make sure you guys stream it at the end of this episode, right? So don't go anywhere yet. Got plenty left with Jordan. And any of our listeners they know right after and Jordan probably knows if he's been a fan of mine for a little bit now.
Who did you hit up?
Who did I hit up? He asked. He's already asked it, right? So if you're a fan of us, you know that pop quiz is usually what comes right after we preview a song from them. We get halfway through the main lesson and we got to pause. We got to do a pop quiz. And if you're a fan of Jordan's just being introduced to us for the first time, pop quiz is a segment where we ask our guest rapid fire questions. Some have to do with music. Some have absolutely nothing to do with music whatsoever. It's just stuff we found out about Jordan or whoever sits in that seat. And he was right to ask, who did you talk to?
I'm going to have to send some text after this.
You probably will. I'll let you know who told me, but I'm not going to say it on air. The first question, you might not want me to ask this given something you had just alluded to earlier, but we're going to do it anyway. True or false, your old producer name was Jay on the keys?
Yeah, true.
Is that
JG on the keys, yeah.
JG on the keys.
Yeah,
Got it.
That's my initials.
Oh, that's right. Duh. Sorry, I fucked it up. JG on the keys. Is that the one you want to delete?
No, that's not.
Oh,
that's not
okay. So there's another one out there. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that was my old producer name. The other one was like a whole alias. You'll never find that shit.
Damn. All right.
Well, I'll show you.
Okay, you'll show me. All right. Yeah. Well,
but y'all never find that shit.
He's smart to show it to me after the episode because I would have thrown it in here. True or false, you're a cat person?
So funny story. I used to be a cat person. I used to have a cat. His name is Willie. RP, love you. Shout out to him. But recently, yeah, my shorty has this cat, and I fucking hate it. And she's gonna kill me for saying this on the podcast. But yeah, like every time I go over her house, I literally die. Like literally, like have to take allergy medicine. It doesn't help. So I'm no longer a cat person.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
What a shame. Who is Trisma?
Fuck. Sorry. Well, that's
the alias? Oh, let's go. I got it. Let's go. Appreciate you. Yo, you know who you are that gave me this. Shout out to you.
Oh, I bet that was fucking
They
crazy.
wouldn't tell me what this was because I wanted a little bit of context. And they're like, I can't tell you.
That's crazy.
You just need to let him tell you.
Well, yes, Trisma was the alias that I used to
We did
make
have
music.
it.
I used to make music under. I got 3 projects on the internet somewhere. The music is still good, but
The name
obviously not
stinks.
as
I'm
good.
sorry. I got to tell
Yeah,
you. If that is your name,
that's
or
terrible.
that was the name.
It was terrible.
What? How did you even come up with that?
It literally, bro. Like I'm
Trisma?
I'm a crackhead, bro. Like I literally just said a word one day and
Jordan Never Died is so much cooler.
oh,
Like
100%.
infinitely cooler.
Yeah.
Like
I think my friend and Jerome, like back when we used to like play fucking Xbox on like Modern Warfare 2, like just gave me that name. Like I'm pretty sure that's how. I have no.
well, it's so bad that I gave you too much credit. I didn't
Yeah.
think that would be because I
Yes.
saw that next in the list. I'm like, it can't possibly be
Exactly.
that.
Bro,
Fantastic.
Bro, please don't go look it up. Do yourselves a favor. You're wasting time.
He's gonna-
listen to the new music.
He's gonna run home and probably delete it now, so you probably won't be able to find it. But that's so great. This came
That's
full circle.
that's
This
actually
came full
hilarious.
circle. So I did find it. I gave him too much credit, and I didn't give myself enough. Just so that way, yeah. And shout out to the source on that one.
Mike's on his Nardwar vibes.
You know who it is. We talked about this earlier. I know you played a bit of basketball at Curry College, and earlier in your your high school days and things like that. So what's like one major highlight of your playing career, playing basketball?
I guess getting my first and I've only dunked in a game like probably like twice. So like I was in like an AAU tournament getting my first dunk in game, and then getting my first dunk on somebody. Those were definitely my 2 favorite highlights.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah,
I could never dunk, so like that's.
But you got a ring. I'd rather have a ring than a dunk.
I do have a ring. That is true.
Yeah.
So fair enough. Can't have it all, I guess.
Facts.
I want the dunk. You want the ring. We can't.
Maybe in another life.
Maybe in another life. Yeah. Seriously. I know you're a big fan of obscure artists such as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Marias, To Hollis, Men I Trust.
Kirby definitely asked that.
I mean, we don't give away. We're not supposed to give away sources on
definitely
air,
Kirby.
but all right. My question to you though is, who's another artist that you're a big fan of that you feel like not enough people know about, or like not too many people are like super aware of?
Honestly, I'll give 2. One, shout out. This might sound strange to you, but like a lot of people aren't familiar yet with Johnny Yukon. I wouldn't say he's like obscure, but he's actually from Boston as well. He makes really good music. If you stumble upon this, let's cook up. But he's fire. And a lot of people don't know this, but I also listen to like K-pop. Like a lot of their music is like really fire. I fuck with New Jeans. New Jeans is fire.
Okay.
Cause I like to listen to obscure stuff because I feel like if I listen to music that's like similar to what I'm trying to make, then I'm just gonna sound like that.
Good answer. I like that. I know you love thrifting clothes. What's been your best find?
My best find, I have these black bell bottoms that I wear like a lot because I love bell bottoms. Like that's my swag. But yeah, I think I got them from the garment district. Yeah.
Cool. Fuck yeah. This one's great.
Oh gosh.
Tell me about the time you accidentally slapped someone at Vintage Lee's Grease Fest.
Oh my gosh. I knew this was Charlia. I'm sending some texts,
Damn it.
Bro,
Why do you keep guessing the sources?
Bro, I
Stop,
know my
bro.
friends,
This is not how it's supposed to go.
I know my friends, bro.
You're like the first. I got to give you credit. You're one of the first people that has accurately pointed out, not just been like, who told you that? You're like, that person like definitively told you that. I said that word weird. Definitively told you that.
Well, I don't promote violence.
We don't promote violence on Turntable.
I'm not a
This is
violent
why I said
person.
accidentally, just to be super clear on this.
I don't go around slapping
Do
people.
not slap people in the face.
I'm an R&B artist. But no, so long story short, and if you stumble upon this interview, bro, I'm so sorry. I don't know who you were, but Vintage Lee, she had this grease feast, and it was a 3-course meal, all infused. And you can smoke in the place too. So really, and I was drinking too. So like really, like I was just like not on this planet. I like really wasn't. And I have like long arms, and I was just moving them around, and I full force just smacked the shit out of this dude, bro. And I was ready. I thought he was gonna square up with me. Like I was ready to fight. I was like it was loud. I was like. And like everybody turned and looked to see what was gonna happen. Like me and Charlia looked at each other in the eyes. I was like, shit. Like, I guess like either he's gonna get fucked up or I am. Like I was like, I truthfully did not mean to do it. And he was like in front of his girl, and it was like,
Oh, that could have been bad.
yeah, like he should have swung on me. Like bro should have really swung on me. I would have understood. But yeah, long story short, and the infused meals, bro. Blame Vintage Lee. That wasn't me. I wasn't responsible for my actions that night.
Not blaming.
It was the
blaming
liquor and
Vintage
the
for that one.
marijuana.
That's great. I've heard that you've been known. This is not me saying this, but this is someone else saying this. That you've been known to have some pretty rough sports takes. That your sports takes are
Briss.
not great. What the fuck, bro? This is crazy. This has never happened before. This has never fucking happened before. Where the artist comes on and accurately 3 for 3. You're 3 for 3. I'm just so amazed. I'm just gonna. This is a Turntable Teachers First where I am just like putting the sources on blast because
I'm the best.
This is crazy. Good
But
for
no.
you. Good for you.
But it's because, bro, the reason why he said that is because we go back and forth all the time because obviously you're a basketball head. Of
course I am.
But I think SGA is terrible. Not terrible.
Terrible?
Not terrible.
At what?
Not terrible. But I don't think he's a top 5 player in the NBA.
Oh,
And
that's I don't find that to be super controversial.
But that's what we always argue about because to him, SGA is like SGA is him. Like I don't even exactly. But also, I think that Jalen Brunson is better than SGA. So that
I don't agree with.
But hear me out, right? But hear me out.
I'm listening. I'm open to
Jalen
it.
Brunson, before he even had the keys to New York to have his own team, when Luka was out on the Mavericks that series, he literally won them that series by himself before he was even the Jalen Brunson that we've seen today. SGA's first time like going decently far. He didn't even go far in the playoffs last year.
No, he didn't. You're right.
Look at his team versus last year. Brunson had Josh Hart, who was playing 48 minutes a game because they had nobody else. They had Mitchell Robinson, whose knee falls off the bone every year.
Yep.
Julius Randle was not there.
Yep. He's always
Dante
hurt.
DiVincenzo, he's a good player, but he's not your number 2.
Not a world beater.
He's not even your number 3.
Should be a decent 4 or 5 on a championship team.
Exactly. Like, no disrespect. I got you on my fantasy team,
he's
Dante.
dope.
I fuck with you.
But
But
I was kind of a Dante DiVincenzo type when I played. Like, you know, like I can't be your focal point of your offense. Like, I need to be like supplemental. I need to be a guy that comes off of screens and shoots. Like, I can't be your point guard. I can't be your leading scorer. That was not my game. So I respect Dante DiVincenzo.
Me too.
100%.
We respect you. But my point is, Jalen Brunson, look at his team versus the Thunder, who were the number 1 seed in the West. Jalen Brunson was whatever he did to his hand. He was a broken hand away from facing the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
All valid.
SGA has never done that, and his team is light years ahead. Well, not this year, but like last year, his team was light years ahead of the Knicks. And Jalen Brunson literally damn near averaged 40 for the whole playoffs.
And to your point, I will give you this. I don't think so. Here's where I think I separate them a little bit. And we have a Knicks fan in the other room. He probably is listening to this. Chase. I heard Chase walk in, and Chase is a big Knicks fan. I know he's in the other room. He's probably listening to this. He can probably hear us. If you can hear us, knock twice. He'll probably have a lot to say after this. Here's where I sit with Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. I think he's a very, very good player. The difference I think you're seeing between SGA and Jalen, I think SGA is just a better defender, like a much better defender. But I think Jalen Brunson is he's a way better 3-point shooter than SGA. He barely shoots threes, SGA. In this day and age of basketball, he doesn't really have that last element to his game that should make him like a modern day, top 5 bona fide player. But on the other hand, I don't feel like Brunson has it on defense.
No,
like
not
SGA
does. Definitely would.
So that's where like I slightly am SGA for now, but I'm not. Again, I think Brunson's a great player, and I've loved his. I like a guy that isn't like super hyped around, like he was like a 2nd round pick, whatever he was, and just kind of like slowly but surely like kind of rose the ladder and had the trajectory he had versus just like somebody that's kind of coming in as like a bona fide all-American type player. Like I respect Brunson's game, and I think he's gotten so much better. Like I don't think anybody other than probably Jalen Brunson thought he was going to be this good in the league. You know what I mean? And that's all due respect to Jalen Brunson, because I feel like
and the fact that he like plays for his dad is like insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Rick Brunson actually played in. He's there. They're like he's a Salem, Mass guy. Like right.
Oh really?
Yeah, right next. Right next door.
Small world.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I don't think that's like a crazy hot take that SGA is not a top 5 player in the league. I don't know if I would put SGA as a top 5 player in the league.
He's like,
I think he's fringe top 10.
Yeah, in my list, he's like 9 to 12 area, not 12, 9 to 11 area. Yeah. I think if he's out of the top 10, he's like right at 11.
I mean, some people have him ahead of Jayson Tatum, which I think is fucking insane. I think that's fucking insane. I know that's like a homer thing to say, but
he's never made to the Eastern Conference. I mean, he's never made it to the conference finals. He doesn't even have a 40-point playoff game.
Like, and he's older than people realize. He's like 27.
Bro, they keep saying a young star. Bro is literally the same age as Tatum. Like they're treating
Tatum's
him.
Been to 5, 6,
7, bro.
7 Eastern Conference Finals now.
7.
Is that what it is?
He's been to 7.
7.
He almost beat LeBron in the fucking Eastern Conference
when
Finals.
He was 19,
rookie year.
Yeah. All right. No, listen. I'm open to that. I am open to the debate that Brunson is better than SGA. I think SGA is slightly better, but okay.
Really, the argument, the reason why we butt heads is because he's like, all Brunson does is foul bait. I'm like, do you not watch your favorite player?
Nah, bro.
I'm like, not watch it.
SGA lives at the free throw line.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we argue. I'm like, bro, you literally can't say that SGA is your guy, and then shit on Brunson for the thing that gets SGA like 12 to 15 points a game.
I hear you. I think that's a valid take, because I was going to ask you. My question for you was maybe a different one. Do you have like a more controversial sports take? Like, what's your most controversial sports take? Like, if you have one that you feel like not a lot of people share.
So, I think Tatum's better than Carmelo and Paul Pierce all time right now. Obviously, LaMelo's not LaMelo. Obviously, Melo is he's like one of the best scorers. But in terms of complete player, bro,
yeah.
If you put prime Melo, prime Tatum, Prime Paul Pierce on the draft board, I'm picking Tatum with my draft pick. I feel like Tatum.
I would agree with that.
I feel like Tatum on any given night, if you need him to score 50, like if you need him to play the Melo role and just give you 40, 50 points, he can do that. Damn near as good as Melo.
But then he showed in the finals he doesn't need to be that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Not that I think he could have played a lot better in the finals.
No,
but
for sure.
But that's another. That's
but
another
his
conversation.
playmaking leap is like insane, bro. Like
I know.
He's literally the thing that people used to say that Luka's better than Tatum because playmaking. I'm like, bro, like it's the same. It's literally the same. It's literally the same. And Luka is a cone. He is a cone. But yeah, if you put those three on the draft board, I'm taking Tatum because no matter, I feel like you have to. I feel like Melo and Paul Pierce, you have to have not like a super team around them, but like you have to have like a B minus and up team. I'm like a B plus and up team. But if you have like a C plus to B team with Jayson Tatum, you could definitely still make the Eastern Conference Finals because his rookie year, what was his supporting cast? Terry Rozier, no disrespect, fucking what was that
on that squad?
Morris.
Morris was on the team.
You had fucking
Smart was still there.
Smart. You had a fucking Semi Ojeleye.
I think Horford was on that team.
Horford, and then Jaylen Brown, who he wasn't
Still wasn't what he is now
at all. Like
No way.
he wasn't even projected to be that at that time. So he played LeBron James, damn, like a little bit out of his prime with that squad. Semi Ojeleye.
Yeah. No, listen,
That's my hot take.
Well, when you think about it, right, with Melo, those Denver teams were good. They never quite made it over the hump. What was Pierce before he got KG and Allen? Let's just be real about that for a second. Like
Literally
Pierce
nothing.
they were not good. Like really not good. He needed honestly, he needed the three. I would say Rondo plus KG and Allen for Pierce to really end up
And he's a
being
great player.
that guy. He is. But I agree with you. But those guys were more scorers, and they needed more around them. Versus Tatum is a more complete player. No, I don't think I would agree with that take. And I think longevity wise, I think we're gonna look back on this in 10 years, and Tatum's gonna be probably higher than either of those.
Especially if he gets 2 to 3 more rings. Like he's in different conversations.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's not a crazy hot take. I kind of agree with that. So, right, but let us know what you guys think in the comments because I'm sure there's going to be people out there.
I'm gonna be getting DMs after this episode. Like
You're probably going to get that's again. He's the biggest Melo fan I know, so he's totally going to say something to you. After
he's gonna
this.
crash out. After
He's going to he might leave. My last question in pop quiz: what's your Mount Rushmore of anime? I know you're an anime fan, right?
Yeah.
So like your top 4 anime shows.
Top 4. In no order, I would say Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist, and I'll say Naruto.
Okay,
Just cause.
classic.
Yeah.
Classic. All good choices. I'm not an anime fan, but I've heard Naruto a couple times. What is up with rappers and people that love music loving anime? I feel like that's such like a thing. Like rappers, hip hop artists, singer, like people that are like live in that like R&B urban space that love anime. I find that fascinating.
I feel like a lot of, especially in 90s anime, I feel like aesthetic wise and like the sounds and the colors, like I'm someone that gets inspired by like stuff like that, like visuals and like colors and textures and stuff like that. And I feel like anime has like a lot of that. Like back the pandemic, bro, I used to just fucking get blasted, watch anime for like 6 hours and then make music for like 10 hours. Like anime was like what was inspiring me to make music, just like the different like themes and like the soundtracks and the visuals. So that for me, that's it.
Cool. Well, that was Pop Quiz with Jordan Never Died. You did great.
Thank you.
Even though we found something. And actually, you did probably better than most because you figured out all your sources, which is hilarious. So that took all the fun away from me because now I don't get to have the big reveal after I turn the cameras off. So annoying, bro. What the fuck? I'm pissed. I'm going to end this now. I'm only kidding. I got one more question for you in the main lesson, and then we got, obviously, the final segment. But I want to talk to you quickly about Trish Pop.
Yes, sir.
Because this is like your new sort of, like after this project, obviously, that you just dropped, Good Girls Are Overrated. Now your next musical endeavor is Trish Pop, which is a little bit more indie pop sounding. So kind of
sure.
talk to me a little bit. I don't know if it's in the early stages or how far you are along with it, but why indie pop, and what about this direction is going to be a bit different than any of your past work?
So on Good Girls Are Overrated, so for me, Trish Pop is like, I'm not gonna go ahead and say I created my own genre, but like that's what I categorize my music at. Well, after Good Girls Are Overrated, like Trish Pop is my thing. Like Trish Pop is like a lifestyle. It's like the way you dress, the way you move, the way you talk, like, and just be like Trishan, like being Trishy is like going out to the club and like getting girls, like that's being Trishy. Or like if I'm with my shorty right now, like I'm Trishan, like me and her, we vibing. You feel me? Like Trish Pop is like the embodiment of that. Like honestly, like Trish Pop is like me being like a classy hoe, like a wholesome hoe. That yeah. That's Trish Pop.
And that's a thing, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Classy hoe. Wholesome hoe. I like that.
Wholesome
Wholesome hoe.
Yeah.
That could be a cool name for a song.
Facts.
Wholesome hoe.
I have one.
You call Wholesome hoe?
It's on that vibe. Well,
you might need to rename it, bro. I don't know. I'm just not give myself any credits here. But I'm just saying.
The basis of the song is about being a
wholesome hoe.
Yeah, but nah, Trish Pop like it's like I don't know. It's like a lifestyle. Like shout out to Jay Briss. Not to say too much, get him in trouble, but whenever we like go to the clubs and stuff like that, we vibe and like we just like we be treating like every time like girls come up to us and stuff like that, and like I want music that like I'm Trish Pop to me. I'm like making music that like wants you to go out, makes you want to go out and treat, or makes you want to like go call your shorty up or like your toxic ex or like your little vibe that like maybe you shouldn't be talking to, but like that's you, like you feel me, like it makes you want to like go do things that like maybe aren't the best, but like it might be the best for you like in that moment type of thing. And I like a lot of like classic like Motown like funk and like 80s pop and stuff like that. I like all like genres of pop, like hyper pop, like indie pop, shoegaze, shit like that. And Trish Pop like sonically is kind of like me blending all different eras of pop that I enjoy, putting my own swag on it and making it cohesive. Because I feel like when a lot of artists decide to make a pop album, it's like either all hyper pop or all 80s pop or all like Y2K, like Justin Timberlake sounding pop, but like I fuck with all that. So like I took elements of all of that and blended it into like one sound. Like a lot of like I told you about this before the episode, but like I missed out on Men I Trust. Like they're a band that's been inspiring me. Like Men I Trust, the drums. I fuck with Billie Eilish.
Love Billie. She's one of my favorites. Love Billie Eilish.
Obviously, like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Tu Hollis, Britney, Gwen Stefani, just all different types of vibes. But there's a little bit of elements on Trish Pop, like Forsaken, She Not Worried, and Poison on Good Girls Are Overrated. Like those are definitely in the realm of Trish Pop. And so that's why I put those type of songs on Good Girls Are Overrated. So it's like not like I had this like whole R&B album and then people fall in love with me being an R&B artist and then I go from R&B to a whole pop album. So I just wanted a gradual transition. And in between that, shout out to Jay Briss. Me and him are like a little duo called The City. We're dropping we already have like a project ready to go in between Trish Pop and Good Girls Are Overrated.
Dope.
But yeah, I'm excited for Trish Pop. And if y'all are looking for that sign to like go hit up that toxic ex or your little situationship, like go do that for sure.
Damn, you got a lot of music in the vault. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have like 4 projects like completely finished, but Trish Pop like it could be finished right now if I wanted to, but like I'm a perfectionist and I just went to LA and linked up with Verde and Zoom who made Poison.
Right.
We made like 6 songs for that in like
Dope.
2 sessions, and before I wrap up the project, I'm gonna go back out there again and like lock in with them again. Right now I have 30 I have 30 demos for the album. I want to record like 20 more and then cut it down to like 9 to 12 of my favorite ones for the project.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, if you're obviously enjoying Good Girls Are Overrated, let that hold you over, because there's plenty more Jordan Never Died.
Plenty more music
to come. Jordan, this has been a fun time. I'm glad we got to do this actually in person this time. Awesome. Really enjoying it, having a good time. My last question and the last segment is the open response. And in the open response, we do what's called the dream song scenario. You might have done this before once the last time we did. I don't know if I was doing it at that point. Maybe
I don't think I did.
Oh, you might have missed it then, because you were a little bit earlier in the pandemic, so maybe I wasn't doing the dream song scenario at that time. But either way, could change. Even if you did do it then, so we'll still do it. The dream song scenario, for anyone who doesn't know, is a segment where I ask Jordan or whoever the guest is, who would be your dream song scenario? So I'll structure it for you. You get 1 to 2 producers, and you get up to 3 guest features. Can be anybody, dead or alive. Okay, so who would be on Jordan Never Died's dream song?
Okay, I'll start with the producers. Do you know Ludwig?
I'm familiar.
Like Childish Gambino's producer?
Yes.
So I would have Ludwig and do I want to say Max Martin? Yeah, Ludwig, Max Martin, and then
that would sound good.
The features, Childish Gambino,
okay,
Michael Jackson, and Midnight Trust.
Damn.
But Midnight Trust is their band, so like they're like kind of like producer artists.
Oh, so he's cheating, but that's okay.
Yeah, we make a pop hit.
We're making a pop hit.
Facts.
There you go. Well, Jordan Never Died, featuring Childish Gambino, Michael Jackson, and Midnight Trust, produced by Ludwig and what was the last one? Max Martin, excuse me. I think it would be a
or Mike Dean. You can swap it.
Either one, I feel like could work. Yeah, Max Martin sounds good though. We don't get a lot of either. Actually, haven't had many of those. I'm glad. You get too many Kanyes around here. Not to say if you don't want to put Kanye on here, I get it, but we get a lot of Kanye. It's a little old. A lot of Pharrell. We get that a lot. So I'm glad you picked a little bit more of a beaten path, so to speak.
Facts.
So dope.
Getting obscure with it.
Love it. Well, Jordan Never Died, man. This has been a fantastic episode. I guess all that's left to do is just let people know where they can find you. Any of the last things or people you want to shout out. Now would be the time.
Jordan Never Died on all platforms, with a 4, not an A. Shout out to Sam Sully, go-to producer, Zoom, Verde, NK. Those are all my main, and Johnny Dubes. Those are all my main producers. And shout out, Mike from Turntables and, OK Kirby, Vintage, Charlia, J Briss. That's the gang. All the people that keep me inspired and motivated.
Love it. If you're a fan of Jordan Never Died, just being introduced to us for the first time, you can follow us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram and TikTok. Hit up our website, turntableteachers.com, for all the latest. And then, of course, if you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, make sure to reach out to us at aostudios.org to book your session or service today. And, of course, people, make sure, like I said for the last time, you stream Good Girls Are Overrated, linked in the description. Once again, I'm Mike. That's Jordan Never Died.
Yes, sir.
With the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed.